So let's talk some armor. Hey guys, Isaac here. I've been playing this game for about a year. I've grinded myself up to level 2000 plus, so I guess I've seen a few things in this game. When you first start in this game, one of the first things you learn is you need to start crafting your gear. You need to craft armor, you need to craft weapons, but it can be pretty difficult to know what are some good numbers. Is this piece that I just rolled, is it really good or is it kind of trash? So in this video, I'm going to cover some of the stats that you're going to want to look for. How much health do you want to try and get? How much defense do you want to try and get? What's a good thing to roll for a heavy armor? What's a good thing to roll for a light armor? All that kind of stuff. How much leadership can you get? So we'll start off with the heavy armor. With your heavy armor, the max health that you're going to be able to get, I don't know the exact number, but it must be somewhere in the high 600s. Maybe it's 700 or something like that. But I've got several pieces that are like mid 600, maybe just above that. As you can see, my boots here, they have 600 health. Then as we move down to the defenses, once again, I don't know the exact max number, but I don't know if anybody does. The max number I've rolled on something is 42. I have a piece, which is my gloves, that have 42 blunt defense. So if you can roll a 42 on your defenses, you're doing pretty darn good. And then on down to the crit values and the crit defense. The max you can roll of those is 10. So as you can see, this one has 8, which is definitely a good roll. Not that crit value is necessarily what you want the most on heavy, but we'll take it. And then on down to leadership, which this piece does not have. The max you can get is 25. So you can get a total of 800 leadership all added up together. 4 pieces, max of 25. If you happen to hit that, well, you'd be the envy of a lot of people. So we'll move on to my chest piece here. I got a 620 health roll, which is very good. 2 good defensive rolls and a heavy crit defense roll. What crit defense is going to do, it's going to help block an enemy's crit value. So if somebody has a lot of crit value, they're going to do extra damage to you. So if you have crit defense, it's going to help cancel out some of that extra damage they're trying to send your way. So that's a really good piece. That's a very much endgame type of piece of equipment. On to my gloves. My gloves are probably my worst heavy armor piece. But they're good enough that I'm not going to complain. I'd like to get a better piece eventually, but starting with the health, the 337, not super pumped about that. I'd like to see that in the 5 or 600s. Piercing defense is really good. Blunt defense is crazy good, and then kind of a weak crit value roll. My helmet, 660 health, that's incredible. 3 defensive stats that are mediocre, but all in all, to hit that heavy of a health and then 3 mediocre defense rolls, yeah, you're doing good. You can't expect to hit 4 max rolls. It's just not going to happen. Once in a lifetime type of thing there. So that's my heavy endgame set, and that's one thing I'll talk about here. I would definitely try to aim for 2 different sets if you can. Aim for one set that has no leadership that you can use in things like death matches and territory wars, where you don't necessarily need to bring tons of units, but you just need to bring your 2 best units. And yeah, so that's what you're going to want the non-leadership gear for. So that's my non-leadership heavy gear. And up here I have my leadership heavy gear. So I haven't rolled very good heavy leadership gear. I got 1 piece with 19, 1 piece with 14. And then when I'm wearing that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix these 2 pieces with it. And there you go. That's my heavy leadership gear. So one thing this is good for is I get the 19 plus 14, so that gets me to, over a 30 extra leadership. If you can hit that 30 extra leadership, you can get some pretty darn good bills with that 730 leadership. So that would be my first goal. If you're trying to roll some leadership gear, try to hit that extra 30 benchmark. And then from there, if you can get extra 60, that's gonna get you some more incredible builds. So yeah, I would first aim for that extra 30 benefit and then aim for that extra 60 benefit of leadership total. So on to my medium gear. So this is a piece that's definitely really good. It has heavy leadership and then really good slash and defense and mediocre crit defense and health. So once again with the medium, you're going to want to try and hit in the 600s for your health. Somewhere around 30 for the defenses is really good for medium armor. And crit value, once again the same. 10 max crit value, 10 max crit defense, leadership max of 25. So this is my chest piece. This is an incredible piece. Really good health roll, bad slashing defense roll, good blunt defense roll, and a good critical defense roll. My gloves, both my gloves and my boots on this set double as my leadership gear. So ideally I would have a golden boot and a golden glove that do not have leadership, but that's alright. It does the trick for now. And then I have my helmet, which is, pretty average for a gold piece. Nothing insane, but we'll definitely take it. No complaints there. So, same thing with my medium gear. I would just swap this, and that's my leadership gear for my medium. So I have 20 leadership on my boots, 20 leadership on a chest piece, 23 on gloves, and 16 on a helmet. So that's some pretty incredible leadership right there. I'll equip it real quick and show you what it gets me to. It gets me to 779 leadership. So if I could get that one more, it gets me over the threshold of possibly bringing one extra little bit better unit. So, but that 779, if you can be anywhere up in that area, yeah, you're doing pretty well. So on to my light armor. Here's my boots. They double as my leadership gear because they have leadership on them. My armor, gloves, hood. So yeah, the numbers. 377 health, that's not that great. The blunt defense that's a good number. The crit value, let's talk crit value on light armor. One thing you're going to like to get is crit value on your light armor because it's going to help you do extra damage. And as a light armor user, you're definitely trying to put out as much damage as you can. So the three things I would look for mainly on light armor: health for sure, crit value for sure, and if you can get that double gear, one leadership, one non-leadership, I would look for piercing defense, slashing defense, maybe some blunt defense. But obviously for the leadership gear, if you can, it's once again max 25. So onto my chest piece, I got a really good health roll, 617, then 2 mediocre defense rolls and 1 good defense roll. My gloves, really high health, good crit defense, and then 2 mediocre defensive rolls, but overall that's an incredible piece. My helmet, really good health roll, really good piercing defense roll, really good blunt defense roll, and an average crit defense roll. So preferably that would be a crit value or else be more slashing defense. But still a really good piece. So yeah, that's that with my light armor. And once again, I have this boot that would double with my leadership gear for my light armor. And I'll just go over these real quick if you want. You can check out the stats. But the main thing with my leadership gear is I'm looking for as much leadership as possible. Anything else is just a bonus. So one extra thing I'll go over real quick is the seasonal gear. If you haven't managed to roll really good gear yet, it's going to be a good idea to get your seasonal gear from the Garrison Quartermaster, and you get that by donating stuff to him. So if you don't know what that's all about, you can ask me about it and I'll let you know in the comments, or maybe I can make a video on it. But Yeah, so get your Garrison Quartermaster gear if you don't have really good gear otherwise. And one extra bonus that I'll talk about is the seasonal gear that you could get last season and the seasonal gear you get this season. If you can use those in combination with each other, you can make yourself an excellent set for death matches. And the reason I say that is the bonus, every time you got two pieces from a set, you get a bonus. With the medium, for example, if you got two pieces on, you get extra 150 piercing, slashing, and blunt damage. And that's from your blue schematic rolls. But the nice thing is, from the seasonal store, the two-piece bonus gives you 200 extra damage for one set, or for two pieces of a set. And what I like to do for death matches, if I'm running medium, say like I'm playing musket, I'll run two pieces from this season and two pieces from last season because they stack up and you'll get 200 extra damage from one two-set bonus. See, this is the Perceptor boots and the Perceptor armor. These are from this season. These are the Blizzard gloves and the Blizzard helmet. These are from last season. So if you add these two together, you get an extra 200 damage from the set bonus. But if you combine them with this season's set bonus, you get an additional 200 damage to whatever you're doing. Say if you're playing musket, and that way you get an extra 200 piercing damage and an extra 200 blunt damage just from the two-piece set. But you add the four-piece set up together, that gives you a total of 400 extra damage. So you can't go wrong there if you're looking for a really good deathmatch set, or perhaps you just started this season so you don't have last season's. But keep that in mind. Next season, there's a good chance they'll bring that back because they've been doing that for the last couple seasons. So save your armor from this year if you don't wear it out. If you do use it and wear it out, no big deal. You just get another set next season. So one thing about the seasonal gear is you cannot recondition it. So once it wears out, it's done forever. So yeah, I think that's pretty much going to wrap up this video. Kind of boring, I guess. Not a lot of action, but that information, it's really hard to come by in CB. If you're a new player, there's nothing out there that really gives you this kind of information. You can't go to a page that says the max stats for this is such and such, the max stats for that is such and such. It's not out there. So this is the kind of information that I wish I would have had early on in my gaming playing Conqueror's Blade here. But yeah, I just didn't have it. So you roll a piece and you just don't know, is it good or is it trash? But hopefully this information will help point you in the right direction a little bit. So thanks for stopping by. Any comments, questions, leave them down below. I'll get back to you. Whether it's in the comments or if it's something I should make a video on, let me know. And eventually I'll try to put out a similar video on but what are the good stats for your weapons. As you can see, I got myself a pretty good set of weapons here too. So I'll cover some of those stats in a future video. I know it's hard to know. You roll a piece, does it have the correct damage, the correct types of damage? Is the number you rolled, is it a really high number or a really low number? It's really hard to know that stuff when you're starting out. So yeah, thanks for stopping by.